What is up, Pats Nation? It is Patriots Global here with another video. Now, today's off-season video is more of a special one for us Patriots fans, especially more so the long-term Patriots fans. In this video, I am going to be talking about 5 former Patriots that I think the Patriots could look into signing this free agency. Again, free agency will officially start on March 13th. That means all trades are official, all free agents can start signing with new teams, and pretty much just the rebuilding process for each of the 32 NFL teams begins. Now, like I mentioned, all of the guys that I am going to be talking about are former Patriots, so they were playing for the Patriots at one point, and all of them are expected to hit the free agent market. So the first person I want to talk about is linebacker Jamie Collins. Now, I want to start off by saying he is not officially a free agent because the Browns have not actually released him, but he is a guy that is expected to be released by the Browns because of how much cap space that he is taking up for the Browns. And ultimately, he is just not performing up to the contract that he has, so he is a guy that is fully expected to be released. Collins ended up signing a 4-year contract worth $50 million with a signing bonus of $5 million, averaging a salary of $12.5 million, and would be set to become a free agent in 2021. In 2019, Collins is expected to have a cap hit of $10 million. Scratch that. He's expected to have a cap hit of $11.7 million. And it would result in $2.5 million in dead money if cut for the Browns. I'm going to get into his stats in a little bit, but my point is being that once you hear these stats, you'll know exactly why it would be a smart move for the Browns to release a guy who has a cap hit of $11.7 million for next year, and to put up stats the way he did, it just makes no sense to keep him on the team. So a little bit about Jamie Collins. He has 6 years of experience in the NFL. His height is 6'3". His weight is 250 pounds. He is currently 29 and went to college at Southern Mississippi. He was originally drafted by the Pats in the second round of the 2013 NFL Draft. So that gives him about 3.5 years with the Patriots, and I say half because in the middle of the 2016 season is when the Patriots actually traded Jamie Collins to the Cleveland Browns. Collins then spent the rest of the 2016 with the Browns, then 2017 and 2018. In his late coming to the Browns in 2016, Collins ended up playing about 8 games with 67 tackles and 2 sacks. Now, in the few games he actually played with the Patriots before getting traded to Cleveland, he played 7 games, but only started in 6, recorded 40 tackles, 1 sack, 3 passes defended, 2 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. In 2015, when he was with the Patriots, he played 12 games and also started in 12 of those, with 85 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 6 passes defended, 1 interception, and 5 forced fumbles. In 2014 with the Patriots, he played 15 games, starting 15 of those with 109 tackles, 4 total sacks, 3 passes defended, 2 interceptions, and 4 forced fumbles. Now, I informed you of his stats with the Patriots because it just proves his productivity with New England. Now, some might be asking why he was originally traded, and it really came down to attitude, money, and it came to the fact that when he was on the field for New England, it was said that he was not totally following the game plan and kind of was just doing his own thing at times. This past season with the Browns, he played all 16 games with 101 tackles, 4 sacks, 4 passes defended, 1 interception, and 1 forced fumble. When looking at his stats with the Patriots, versus Cleveland. They definitely do not match at all. And I think Cleveland kind of just looked at his stats with the Patriots and expected him to have that same productivity with them, gave him this contract, and it didn't work out. The Patriots obviously could use some help at linebacker. You have Dante Hightower, who really hasn't been himself, still coming back from that injury. And then you have guys like Kyle Van Noy who have really stepped up, but you could definitely still use some help there. And like I said, Jamie Collins did very good for the Patriots. He's a guy that knows the system. He knows what's expected, already has chemistry with the other guys, and I don't expect his market to be insanely high. Next up on my list is a long-time fan favorite running back, and that is LeGarrette Blount. Blount first entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent with the Tennessee Titans back in 2010, but then joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before the start of the 2010 NFL season. LeGarrette Blount is definitely up there in age. He is 32, but he is 6 foot and weighs about 250 pounds, which makes him a really good power back. He spent from 2010 to 2012 with Tampa Bay. Then in 2013 and 14, he was with the Patriots. New England ended up letting him go, and then he played for Pittsburgh and then rejoined the Patriots, and then in 2015 and 16 he spent with the Patriots also. LeGarrette ended up finishing with 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots and then hit free agency, where the Patriots didn't pay Blount as much as he was hoping for, so he ended up going to Philadelphia and playing for the Eagles. And we all know that later that season we saw him in the Super Bowl, where he won another ring, but with Philly. He signed a 1-year deal with the Eagles and then ended up going to Detroit, where he signed a 1-year deal and now is set to be a free agent again. In his time with the Philadelphia Eagles, he played in 16 games but only actually started in 11 of those and rushed for 173 rushing yards, 173 rushing attempts for 766 yards and 2 touchdowns. His longest touchdown that season came and ended up being 68 yards, which, interesting fact, is actually his longest touchdown ever. He then also caught 8 catches for 50 yards and 1 touchdown. Then this past season in Detroit, he appeared in 16 games, only starting in 8 of them, with 154 rushing attempts for 418 yards and 5 touchdowns, with a long being of 27. Blount was targeted 15 times but only caught 10 of those passes, resulting in 0 touchdowns. I want to take a minute and say I think it's really funny that a lot of Philadelphia Eagles fans think that Blount is going to come back to Philly and retire as an Eagle. Look, he won a Super Bowl ring with you guys. That's great. That's something he's going to remember forever. But he played 1 year with you guys, and then he wanted to leave. He played with the Patriots for 4 seasons and won 2 Super Bowls. If he's going to retire on any team, it's definitely going to be the Patriots. With that being said, though, the Patriots have always kind of had this missing piece in their running back core. Now, it definitely showed a lot less this past season with Sony Michel, Rex Burkhead, and James White. But having a veteran power back who knows the system could definitely help. Now, I do not think that they signed both Jeremy Hill and LeGarrette Blount, nor, by the way, am I saying that they're going to sign any of these guys I talk about. But I just definitely think that the Patriots have still lacked the position of power back when it comes to an actual running back. Now, this could just be more of a fan favorite, but I would love to see LG back in New England. Next up, I have Danny Amendola. Now, before I get into this, I made a whole video on this guy, basically how the Dolphins are expected to release him. So if you really want to know more about Danny Amendola, go check out that video. So I'm not going to get as in-depth with it as I am with these other guys because I made a whole video on it. But Danny Amendola is another one of those guys that isn't set to be a free agent at the end of the season, but he is expected to be released by the Miami Dolphins because of the cap hit he has. Dola left the Patriots last offseason after the Super Bowl loss when he was set to become a free agent. Basically, another one of those guys that the Patriots were not paying enough. Danny Amendola said it himself in an interview when it was Super Bowl 53 around that time. He said in an interview pretty much how he wanted to play for New England, but he has a family he has to look out for, and he just got an offer he couldn't pass up. He signed a 2-year deal that could have been worth up to $12 million with incentives, but it includes a guarantee of $8.25 million, and next season he is expected to make a salary of $6 million. This past season with the Dolphins, he appeared in 15 games, starting 15 of those, was targeted 79 times and caught 59 passes for 575 yards and with 1 touchdown, his longest catch being for 39 yards. He also had 1 rushing attempt that went for -2 yards. Ultimately, those stats don't sound like a guy that you necessarily want for $6 million. Danny Amendola was great for the Patriots. We all know they call him Danny Playoff Amendola. And the Dolphins were just kind of one of those teams that thought he would be a wide receiver that could do that for any team. With Brian Flores now going to be the head coach for the Miami Dolphins and their kind of rebuild type of stage, it makes sense that they don't want to pay $6 million for a guy that had 1 touchdown for 575 yards on the season. The Patriots only have 2 wide receivers set on their roster, and that is Braxton Berrios and Julian Edelman. You have Philip Dorsett, Chris Hogan, Cordero Patterson, all set to be free agents on March 13th. Ultimately, we don't know how it's going to play out until we hear that these guys signed with another team or signed back with the Patriots. Either way, though, the Patriots need help at wide receiver, and this is a guy that has a great connection with Tom Brady, without a doubt knows the system, has respect from a lot of the players and staff members. And if you're a Patriots fan for a while, then you just know why this is a good fit. Now, number 4 is another wide receiver and former Patriot. This one could get a lot of criticism, but this one's Brandon LaFell. LaFell started his NFL career in 2010 when he was drafted by the Carolina Panthers. He spent 4 seasons with the Panthers before joining the Patriots for 2 seasons. LaFell's first year with the Patriots was undeniably good. He appeared in 16 games, starting 13 of those. He was targeted 119 times, catching 74 of those passes for 953 yards and 7 touchdowns with a lawn of 56. He had a catch rate that season of 62.2%, and that's kind of where it comes in with the criticism, is that his hands were a little bit iffy. In 2015 with the Patriots, he appeared in 11 games, starting 7 of those. He was targeted 74 times, catching 37 passes for 515 yards, 0 touchdowns, with a lawn of 54 yards. He finished that season with a catch rate of 50%. LaFell caught a lot of heat from Patriots fans, and it's also why the Patriots really didn't care to sign him past the 2 years that they had him under contract. It wasn't that he was bad for the Patriots at all, it's just that his hands were getting a little bit iffy, and we just all know that Bill Belichick doesn't really mess with guys that can't catch the football. He then spent 2 seasons with the Cincinnati Bengals, and then this past season with the Oakland Raiders. This past season, he appeared in 6 games, starting 5 of those. He was targeted 16 times, catching 12 passes for 135 yards, 2 touchdowns with a lawn of 24, and a catch rate of 75%. LaFell is getting older. He is 32, but he's a guy that brings height, something that the Patriots could definitely keep using. He is 6'2", and his 40-yard dash time was 4.54 seconds. Like I previously mentioned, the Patriots' wide receiver position and whole issue is something to monitor, and another guy that knows what he's doing, knows what's expected, has chemistry with Tom Brady already, knows the system. just could maybe be someone that they look into. Now, the last guy I have on my list is a guy that somewhat lived in the shadows, but was referred a lot to as the Rob Gronkowski lookalike. That is tight end Matt Lingle. He first started his NFL career when he was signed by the Bengals as an undrafted free agent in 2015. He then played for the Patriots in 2016, where he played in 6 games when he was targeted 3 times for 2 receptions for 22 yards and 1 touchdown. His time in New England did not last very, very long, as in 2017 he then was with Cleveland, where he played 1 game and didn't record any stats. This past season he was with the Cincinnati Bengals, where he played 11 games, starting 2 of them. He was targeted 8 times and recorded 3 catches for 17 yards and a touchdown. He's still a pretty youngish guy at 28 years old. He has great height at 6'7", and also wasn't a bad blocker. He wasn't anything too special when it came to the pass ability and getting super involved in the passing game, but at the same time, he really wasn't getting much chances on the field to really do much anyway. But in the year that he was with the Patriots and the very limited snap time he got, he produced better stats than Dwayne Allen did all season. Basically, a guy that I don't expect to have a market really at all. I'm sure that there will be teams attracted to him because of his size, but nothing too crazy whatsoever. And the Patriots are at kind of a weird spot with tight end, so just wouldn't surprise me to maybe see him back. Now, the other guy I was very tempted to replace with Matt Lingle was AJ Derby. A lot of Pats fans know him, but I kind of just stuck with Matt Lingle. But that is it for today's video. That was basically 5 guys who I feel maybe the Patriots could or maybe even should look into. There's a long list of former Patriots that are set to become free agents at the end of the season, but these were my top picks. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But that is it for today's video. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe, and also while you're at it, follow me on Instagram. That will be down in the description below. Please also share this video with everybody you know so we can grow the Patriots Global family. Share it on Instagram, Twitter, email, iMessage, all that fun stuff. If you do post it on Twitter or you do post it on, say, Instagram, tag me in it. I would love to give you guys some recognition. But other than that, I will catch you guys in another video.